Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Pan That palette video with my Natasha Denona shadows, and I will show you the Huda Beauty palette that I've been working on organically. But what I want to do today is just show you how I'm doing with my Big Adept Natasha Denona palette, and then I'm going to go ahead and go palette after palette and switch out the eyeshadows that I've hit pan on and switch out a few eyeshadows that I know I'm not using and giving it a refresh, an overall refresh to this huge palette. So if you want to see what eyeshadows I hit pan on, and if you also want to see how this ends up looking after I'm done with refreshing it, then just keep on watching. Okay, so this is exciting because I have 4 pans that I've hit so far. I always have here the black one, and I'm gonna keep it on my big palette because I use that eyeshadow almost every single day. But I've hit panning 4 other shadows. 2 are from the Sunset palette, 1 is from the Viva palette, and then 1 is from the Green Brown palette. So those are for sure eyeshadows that I'm gonna rotate, and then I'm gonna go in the order of the palettes and then just choose new shades to pamper this up. But first I want you to have a look into the overall eyeshadow palette and how it's looking after being used for this past month. So I have to turn down the lighting so that you guys can appreciate the colors of the eyeshadows better. The first row is Sunset, then the second row is the Gold palette, the third row is the, what is this one? The Safari palette. Then this one is the Tropic palette, this one is the Viva palette, and this one is the Green Brown. Then for the meaty palettes, I have here Sunrise, then Metropolis, and then Love. And here I have all of the Bronze palette. And I just wanted you guys to see, you can see the pans there, the 4 new pans, and the black one that has a more expanded pan. But that's how this palette is looking like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start switching them up. Okay, so now for the Gold palette, I have pan in these 2 new shades, Morgana, and then the other one, it's called Obeyed. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then I put these 2 back and I left only one of the shadows here in the pan. So for the Sunset palette, I hit pan in these 2 new shades. So now we have 4 pans on this palette, and then I put these 2 back and I left just 1 shade on my big palette because that one I'm about to hit pan on, so I want to keep it there. And now I'm going to choose 4 other shadows to play with. Okay, so the 4 shadows that I'm going to choose are these 4 and this gold right here. For the Gold palette, I didn't hit pan in any of the shadows on this update, but I already have pan on 3 shades, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put only 1 back, and it's this teal color right here. And then the eyeshadow that I chose to go on my palette is this one right here. It's called Alchemist. And this is the one that's gonna go on the big palette. I find that I want to reach out for more of earthy tones and not that much colorful shadows. And if I want colorful, I can go in to my Roulette Pan Collab and just use the So Jaded palette from ColourPop because I'm trying to work on that as much as I can as well. So if I have colors from Natasha Denona, it's probable that I won't reach for the So Jaded palette. So I don't really want to have that many colorful eyeshadows here. I want to have an earthy tone, fall to winter, everyday eyeshadow palette right here. For the Safari palette, I only have 1 shade that I've hit pan on, and I'm not gonna switch up any of the eyeshadows that I have here. These eyeshadows I'm working on, and I think it's gonna be a while until I want to switch them up because they complement these FRANKENPALETTE so well that I don't want to remove them and I don't want to switch them up on these updates. So the Natasha Denona Safari is gonna be the same on the FRANKENPALETTE. For the Tropic palette, I only switched up Tiger Lily for Sahara, and Sahara is just another brown everyday shade. I'm gonna show it to you. It's this one right here. And this is a perfect transition shade, and I mostly reach for transitions. So I would put Vintage Taupe, but I already hit pan on that one and I want to keep going on the pans that I hit on the Natasha Denona shadows. This palette has 3 pans already, and I'm hoping that I can get another one soon. I've been working a lot on Nudist, and I've been working a lot on Pastel Melon. and I think those two are gonna be my next pans for this palette, but they're gonna take a while because they're the regular matte formula and you have to use it a lot to heat pan on it. Okay, for my Viva palette, I've heat pan on 7 eyeshadows, including the black one. I already put back Seed, which is one of the latest pans that I've had from this palette, but Spot, I'm gonna keep it on my palette because that's the black one and I use that one almost every single day, 99% of the time. I will go back to that one, but I'm gonna switch up the two grays that I have there because I haven't touched them and I want to give space to other shadows from this palette to be played with. So I'm gonna just go and put these two grays back, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out 3 eyeshadows from the palette. Okay, so I decided to go for Pasha, Rain, and Prairie, which is this one. So there are 2 mattes and 1 creamy matte formula, and those are amazing deep eyeshadows or deep browns with reddish tones because those are again the shadows that I use the most. Not only the black one but the dark browns, and I'm trying to heat pan in every single dark brown from Natasha Denona that I have, even the repeats, because Coco they have it 2 times, or Log from the Sunset, it's a repeat, one from the gold eyeshadow palette. Again, I've heat pan in repeat shades, but those are the ones that I use the most and I want to have a lot of pan. So this is looking really nice. For the green brown, I heat pan on this shade, so now I have 4 pans on this palette. I put back the silver right here and this mermaidy type of eyeshadow, and I chose 3 eyeshadows to go and play with my palette right now. And the names of those are Umber, Moonstone, and Cream. And I think they will complement the eyeshadow looks that I will do nicely. And they have sort of an icy and then metallic finishes, but these two have sort of a cool tone to them in a way. And then this one is a brown, a metallic brown, and I don't have that many of them on this palette. So yeah, this is gonna look really nice. For my Sunrise palette, I returned Carnelian and Citrine, and then I also put back Aster. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add on this palette Poppy, Dayspring, and Agate. And these are the shades. This is Poppy, which is a metallic rusty reddish shade. Then this one is Agate, which is a nice inner corner highlight. And then Dayspring, which is a bronzy shade. And these I love so much. And since today I'm gonna put back the bronze palette on the entire palette, and then I'm gonna choose only 5 shades to keep of that one so that I can add the glam palette to this one. Then we'll see how it goes because I don't need to have a crazy amount of eyeshadows or all the eyeshadows from just one palette. For the Metropolis palette, I have heat pan in these 4 shades, and then now I'm adding Rope and Noble to the mix. So I'm adding, oh, and I need another one. So these 2 I'm adding to the mix. This one will complement and go well with the eyeshadows that I chose from the green brown. And then I will also add Rezone, which is also one that will go well with the palette, and it's a matte one. So that way I can also see if I have dupes in any of the palettes, because there are a lot of similar shades, but they're not necessarily the same and they come in different formulas. So I'm pretty excited to choose these, or I don't know if I'm gonna just have 5 pans from the middies. I will see and let you guys know at the end. For the Love palette, I heat pan in only 1 shade and I'm switching up 2 shades. I chose to return to the palette Soul and Intense, and I grabbed Heartbeat and Lifetime. This is Lifetime, which is so pretty, and then Heartbeat, which is a matte wine shade. So these are the 2 eyeshadows that are gonna be switched up. I know I will heat pan soon in 2 other shades that I'm already working on this palette. Okay, so now I'm gonna return all the eyeshadows to the Natasha Denona Bronze palette, except for 6 that I'm gonna keep on the palette, and I'm gonna place the entire Glam palette on this palette just to play with it more, or maybe I will choose 6 shades again and just let's see how it goes, and let's see if the space will suit me for the entire palette. So I returned most of the eyeshadows from the Bronze palette to their little house, and I chose Suntan, Sundown, Deep Dive, True Bronze, Beach, and Silk. to be the eyeshadows that I'm gonna use. And I don't know the names, the exact names of each of the shadows, but I'm gonna be showing them to you and you will see them in the palette at the end. I have to say, for the Glam palette, I hate the shade names because I can't really guide you guys on the shade names. So I chose a Smoke, Outer Lid, Inner Corner, Lash Line, Outer Lid, and Brow Bone. For the 6 shades that I grabbed from this one, I decided not to go for the entire palette because that way I can focus on all of them, and I will tell you guys about the formula as soon as I feel like I know that palette better, because it's not like I've been using that one nonstop. It's beautiful, it's cool tone, but it's not the only palette that I've been using. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place these eyeshadows on the palette. I'm gonna organize the palette with the blushes and everything, and I will show you how it's looking right now. Okay, so for the 3 5-pan palette eyeshadows that I have, I decided to leave the 2 of each that I already had on this palette, and then I reorganized everything. So this is the end result of the palette, and I really love it. These are the 3 5-pan palettes. This is Cranberry, this is Hoya, and this is Aries. Then these are blushes and bronzers that I have in project pans or my blush project and the Roulette pan collab and stuff. And then these are the new shadows that I chose, and these are Sunset, Gold, Safari, Tropic, Viva, Green Brown, and then I have here Sunrise, Metropolis, Love, Bronze, and Glam. So you can see how beautiful that looks, and I know that I'll be hitting pan in a few shades soon, I'm hoping. So I'm thinking that for the next update, I'll have at least 2 pans. So I will have a sunset pan and then maybe a gold one. And I also have kind of the feeling that I will have a cranberry pan and that I will have a bronze pan, love pan. That's it for now, but those could be a lot of pans. I know that for sure I will have 2 pans that I will hit because I tend to focus on eyeshadows that I see that I've used and I keep using them, and then the ones that I organically will dip even more, those are the ones for the next update. But I'm super happy with this project. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the process of me just creating this new palette or just refreshing it. And I love that now I get to have the Glam palette here, and it gives these eyeshadows sort of a cool tone vibe to it. Same with a few shadows from the Viva and a few shadows from the Green Brown. I get to have a cool tone vibe and a glam vibe, because even though the Love palette has a lot of cool tones in it, the purple ones are not my favorite shades, or the silver ones. But then when I get sort of smoky shades that are on the brown side and that are more smoky, or something like Lash Line, which is not a black but it's sort of a deep gray, those are colors that I will use on an everyday basis, and that will make my looks more cool tone, but not in a rude way or in a way that I won't like it. So that's it for this video, you guys. This Pan That Palette project, I think it will have one more update for this year, but I will keep it just the same. You will see it. Maybe next year I will just refresh all the eyeshadows, and I will let you guys know what I do on the intro of that project for next year. And then I also wanted to show you just a glimpse of the Huda Beauty nude palette, nude palette, and you can see all of the pans that it has, and this has been one that I've been using organically. You can see it better from afar, but I've hit pan so far in 9 eyeshadows, and I'm pretty sure that I will hit pan soon in 2 more maybe, or at least 1 more, and I want to hit pan in the entire palette. This is the eyeshadow that I'm wearing today. I have a center highlight from the So Jaded palette. But these eyeshadows, since I grabbed it and put it in my everyday makeup drawer, I haven't been able to put down. And I already picked up the Naughty one, so you will see that on videos pretty soon. So for the emoji today, let's just put something related to nude, or the new nude by Huda Beauty, or something related to glam. And those can be the emojis if you watch the entire video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a video. And that's it, you guys. I love you, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.